Morning, everyone. Welcome to the first day of your first class in the master's degree program here at Charleston Southern University. David Britt, your professor, here coming to you from my office in Dallas, Texas. I promise over the next few weeks to be in some more exciting places than my office, but it's nice for me to be home. I've done quite a bit of traveling over the past year in 2017, and we'll be heading to Seattle a little bit later this week, but for the most part have been here over the holidays. So I just wanted to officially welcome you again to Charleston Southern. A couple of things before I talk about the first module that you're going to be working in. Make sure when you log into the course that you look at the announcements. That is my general way of communicating with you and your fellow students. And you'll see already there are, 6 or 7 announcements in there, some videos, some other things that will be very helpful for you to take a look at. And then make sure that every time you log in the course, you look at the announcements, because chances are there's going to be something new in there. By the end of the course, there'll probably be 30 or so announcements. So make sure that you check those out. Also, make sure that you check your CSU emails. While I don't send many emails, if I have to contact you specifically on something, that will be the vehicle that I will use. So one of the big challenges sometimes for new students is to make sure that you develop a regular regimen of checking the announcements and then also checking your CSU emails as well. And then for brand new students, I've already had one of these calls. I like to reach out to new students and make an offer. This isn't required. But if you would like to spend some time with me going over the class, going over expectations, walking through the Blackboard system, please send me an email to my email that you'll see in the online course, and with 2 or 3 times that would work for you, and then I'll give you a call. Make sure you include your telephone number with that. And we can connect and spend some time getting to know each other better over the phone. I can walk you through the learning platform, Blackboard, and then answer any questions that you may have. You can do that anytime, but I do find that it's very helpful as you get started in the class to do that. And some students says it's the best 30 minutes that they'll spend in the class as they get started. All right? So let's talk about Module 1. Now, when we use the word module, it's the same as lesson, the same as week. So Module 1, Lesson 1, Week 1, all the same. But this very first module that starts on Monday and ends Sunday night, 11:59 p.m., we'll go over readings. So you're going to start off with some readings. You'll read chapters 1 through 3 in the Critical Thinking book. And then also in the learning platform, you're going to see that there are a series of lectures. There's a lecture, a PowerPoint that's been turned into a PDF lecture for each chapter. There is a video that's placed by the writers of the textbook, so you'll see them introduce that particular chapter. And then there's something that's called a sketch note video, which is really a whiteboard. And I like those because you're able to understand some of the concepts in that particular lesson by just watching the video on the whiteboard. So chapters 1 through 3 will be the readings this week. And then the first discussion forum that you will be participating in will be an introduction. And I'm asking you to introduce yourself to your fellow classmates. Don't short sell this one. I'm going to tell you a story. This is an absolutely true story. One of my classes that I had people giving introductions. And there was one person in the class who contacted another person and said, "Hey, I read your introduction in the class, and what your experience is showing me is something that we're looking for in our company. And so we're looking for someone who has that level of experience in the company. If you're interested, I can send you the job profile and the job description, and I can connect you with the person who's going to be doing the interviewing and making decisions on that." Long story short, the person did that and got a job and are working for that company. So based upon the introduction that they provided. So don't treat this as a throwaway. And then the second discussion forum talks about what is critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Now, this is the only time you'll ever hear me say this. I do not want you to do research on this. I just want you to come in cold and give me and give your fellow classmates your comments on how you define critical thinking. I think it's important for you to get a clear understanding of how you're currently looking at it, and then by the end of the course, you're going to be able to compare all the elements that we talk about over this week and see how that compares and contrasts with your coming in assumptions on critical thinking. Now, the keys on discussion boards: you have to have one initial post by Thursday of this week, by 11:59, and then you have to respond to 2 other posts from your fellow classmates by Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. Don't worry if you go into the discussion board and you don't see anything, because you're not going to be able to view all the other posts until you make your initial post there, okay? So those are discussion forums that are there. The assignment this week presents you with a problem-solving model. It's called Ideas. And what I want you to do is to recap that process, provide some additional research and on problem-solving models. There are literally hundreds of problem-solving models. This one I tend to like because it's easy to follow, and I think it's thorough enough as you go through. Make sure that you take a look at my introductory video on what I expect, because every single paper, now hear me on this, every single paper that you write in this degree program has to follow a certain format. You need to have a cover page, introduction section, body headings and content, a conclusion heading and content, and then a reference page that will highlight the sources that you used in your paper. So every single one needs to follow that format. And then I always recommend students do this last. You're going to have a test that will have 25 multiple choice questions. It'll be over the readings from your textbook, so chapters 1 through 3. You'll have 75 minutes to complete that. You have to do it in one sitting, so make sure that you're ready to go when you sit down with that. In the rest of your degree program, you're probably not going to have tests. But this one is real important because there are a lot of words, a lot of definitions, a lot of concepts that you're going to need to have a full grasp of in order to be successful in this class. All right? Well, that's going to be your first week, and I do encourage you to reach out to me if you want to chat, and I will be traveling the middle part of the week, but I will be totally accessible to you to get together, to talk, however you want to do that. All right? Take care. Have a great week. Chat with you soon.